Hello friends, welcome to AcadHelp webinar TNT series. This TNT series means this is a series for teaching and learning. Actually it is teaching and training series. Today we have with us 4 people, means including me. We have Mr. Eugene from ZIT Mumbai. We have Mrs. Shajila, she is from ZIT Gwalior, and Mr. Navghana Nayak from ZIT Bhubaneswar, and me, Dr. Avijit Shah from ZIT Bhubaneswar. Today's discussion is on feedback. Now, we all as teachers or trainers, we very often come across this term, that is feedback. In fact, I should say that we very often give feedback. People think that we are giving feedback, but what actually happens is we don't give feedback, rather we put some remarks. We often criticize and we think that it is a feedback. But actually what feedback means, we will now discuss. All of us have experienced in our domestic lives or even in our professional lives. Whenever we do something, we ask our friends, we ask our family members, how was it? That means actually we want some feedback. And the reply which we get is something different. The reason being, neither we nor they understand what feedback is. We rather prefer to criticize than to give actual feedback. This is happening everywhere. The reason is the same. People are not aware of what feedback means. And above all of us are afraid of feedback. Whenever we say, I want to give you a feedback, people start running away. Rather, don't want to have a feedback. As a trainer, it is compulsory for us to have a feedback after every session, and we do so. Since we are trained personnel, all we 4 sitting here have been trained. We are trained personnel. We understand the importance of feedback. We understand. So accordingly, we are motivated, and our attitude towards feedback has changed. We are always positive, and we take feedback in a positive manner. But in most of the cases, what happens is people are afraid of taking a feedback, hearing that something negative must be there, and it is very difficult to tolerate a criticism or a negative. So negative statements we don't like. Then what should be the nature of a feedback? We'll discuss today. So in this discussion, welcome everybody, the audience and our guests.
Thank you, sir.
Discuss on feedback. Here we'll learn what a feedback is, how a feedback is given, what should be the attitude of a feedback giver and a feedback receiver. So let us now start this discussion with Mr. Eugene.
Yes.
I'd like to know from you what actually a feedback means, because I've told you that people are confused with this term feedback and they take it in different ways. So please, will you explain what feedback is?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dr. Saha, for choosing such a wonderful topic, feedback. If somebody says, well done, not so well done, immediately we react. Something comes to our mind. Is it a comment or criticism? How do we decide?
Right.
Feedback exactly. Feedback is the result of an action. If you are a painter or a dancer, the action is performed, somebody observes it, and they give some information. They observe it and communicate to the source itself. The performer is getting the communication from the observer. Well done, or not so well done. This is used in the field of education, especially in training, for some reasons. Here, we all are learners. In learning, our learning takes place in two different ways. One is through our informational characteristics results. Another one is reinforcing characteristics results. So feedback helps to reinforce something. Or feedback gives valuable information about our performance. It's well done or not so well done.
Uh,
What's the use of feedback now here? The feedback helps us to identify what needs to be changed and what needs to be continued in one's action or performance.
okay.
Feedback, the source of feedback could be from the trainer or from the trainee. We are trainers. We may have a trainer above us. We can get feedback. When we train others, we also give feedback. Similar way, they also feedback to us. Our performance as a trainer is well done or not so well done. And the performer himself can get the feedback of one's own. For example, you are riding a bicycle and you've fallen off the bicycle. This you need not get the feedback from anybody else. You yourself can feel
That's right.
you've fallen off. First time you have prepared a cup of tea and you have added little more sugar. While having the tea, you can easily understand what you have done. And the
But when
extent
you
of
give the tea to
feedback,
someone else, Mr. Eugene,
yeah, then
when you
they
give
will
the key
give
to
feedback.
someone else,
Yeah,
you make
now
it to
I'm
someone else.
driving home the point. You can get feedback from yourself also,
Right.
apart from getting feedback from others. So
Right.
the extent of feedback is significant to the standard of our performance. If you want to improve our performance better, we should get more invite more feedback from others. Thank you.
Rightly said, Mr. Eugene. I'm very happy with this answer because it is true that if you want to improve your performance, then you should be positive and you should invite feedback from others. And you should have the capacity to receive the feedback. I rightly said. And as you just said, we as a trainer and we conduct or we take feedback. Don't you think that even in the classrooms when we're teaching the students, we should prefer to have a feedback from the students? And I think so. If teachers start taking feedback after every session or every classes, there is every possibility that both of us improve, both the teacher and the learners. I think so. But though it is not in practice, but I think in course of time we may start doing this also. Why not take a feedback? We have a, make a pro forma and take a feedback from the students. Nothing to be discouraged or afraid of. But one more thing which I should say that before asking our students to give a feedback, let them know what feedback is. Otherwise, everything goes in vain. Am I right?
Exactly.
Okay. Now I'll come to Shajila, madam.
Yes, sir.
Would you please explain that what is this feedback? Just now, Eugene has said regarding
Yes.
feedback.
Yes.
Why do you actually require to take feedback?
Sir, thank you for this question, sir. Sir, the purpose of feedback. Sir, just now Eugene sir explained what is meant by feedback and how it is, all these things. Now, the purpose of feedback or why feedback, that is to help the receiver or the learner to improve their performance, to
Right.
improve their behavior, thereby improve their performance. So this can be achieved or it can be accomplished by sharing experiences and giving each other the benefit of different ideas. That is, the ideas can be given as the feedback is given by the trainer or the trainee who is undergoing training with him, with that person, or as said the third, as sir said, the third option by self. So different ideas the learner is getting, and thereby the trainees can improve and develop many aspects of their performance. Especially when we think about during training, it is very easy because the trainee is away from the constraints of his workplace. So he is getting ample of time here, so he can think about that. He can work according to the suggestions or the feedback given by the trainer and for the person who is giving the feedback. So accordingly, he can work for that and he can improve the performance. It can be received from other trainers or trainees who is working or undergoing training along with him. So the behavior can be changed, and definitely the purpose is to improve the performance. And an effective feedback must be, it should be very supportive, constructive, understandable, and well timed. Apart from all these things factors, there is a very important factor which lies between the giver and the taker, that is the trust. The trust is most important in this case. It requires trust. That means the learner should trust in the feedback giver, and the feedback giver should have a trust uh, about the trainee. So whatever the feedback giver is giving, or the suggestions or the feedback is giving, the learner should understand that it is for his own improvement. So the trust is very, very important in this. And it should not be in an uncomfortable or threatening manner. So now, if I move on to the types of feedback, already some aspects of this is covered now. That is positive and negative feedback is there. What is positive and negative feedback? When you give a positive feedback, it confirms and praises the acceptable performance. If that is a positive, if it is a positive feedback, it confirms and praises the acceptable performance. And what is the advantage of this positive uh, feedback? It builds confidence and it motivates the receiver to repeat the same type of work again. So that motivates, and he will be able to maintain that level. Now, what about the negative feedback? This negative feedback identifies areas where performance is inadequate. So this is a great value to the recipient, as it creates an awareness of the need to change. Recipient can understand what the recipient can understand, correctly understand from the negative feedback, what he lacks and where he lags in his performance. So that is negative feedback and positive feedback. So the main purpose, whether it is positive feedback or negative feedback, positive feedback as it is positive feedback, and negative feedback also, the receiver should take it as a positive aspect, should take it positively. And both these are to improve the performance of the learner. So finally, I conclude this as main aim of the feedback is to improve the performance of the learner. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have given a wonderful description. And I suppose now no one will have any doubt about this positive and negative feedback. One thing which I had in mind is regarding this negative feedback, which we are always afraid of. We are happy with the positive feedback, but we are very much uncomfortable with our negative feedback.
Definitely.
And we must try to understand that it is the negative feedback which is going to make me more positive in course of time. And so, and that too, one important thing which you have said, that is the trust. Really, it is very important to build the trust between the giver and the taker. So there should be a mutual understanding between the feedback giver and the feedback receiver in this regard. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Eugene.
Yes.
Hello. I have a question for you. That is, this is not my question, however. We very often come across this human element during a feedback, a human element. And human is actually an acronym.
Yeah.
Right? Which is used in feedback giving, discussed in feedback. Now I come to Mr. Eugene. I have an important question for you. And this is an important and pertinent question because this needs a lot of explanation, and I want it from you. That is the human element in feedback. Human, of course, is an acronym. Would you please like to explain this and give the values of feedback?
Sure. In both ways, they are essential as an acronym as well as the human element. Let me explain the acronym part.
Right.
H stands for hear, U stands for understand, M stands for motivate, A stands for acceptable, and N stands for negotiate. For the person who is receiving feedback or who is giving feedback, the essential element is hear. One should hear it properly.
Correct. And that is what we lack actually. We don't
Yeah.
hear people. We like to
Yes.
speak. Let others hear me, but I'll not hear
Yes.
to others.
Anything we come across, we will come to a conclusion without observing, without hearing. We come to a conclusion
We
and
are
we are
actually,
giving
we
our
are
opinion.
actually
We are
by
not
default, human are very judgmental.
exactly.
Please continue.
And the second aspect is understand. It needs deeper thinking. It's
Right.
not simply say understand. Here, it involves one's perspective. You should take it in the right perspective, understanding the event or the performance. And each feedback should have a motivating factor. There is a purpose behind giving
Right.
feedback. It should motivate the person who is receiving the feedback. Motivate. And feedback should be acceptable. It should not be beyond acceptance for any case. The people give unrealistic feedback.
Right. This is very
It should be
important.
acceptable and negotiable. This is very, very important point. We may think when somebody asks for feedback, we think that, am I really eligible to give feedback? Or when you receive feedback, is this person eligible to give feedback to me? We think often.
Correctly said. We often think like that.
Yeah, there should be a balance. And the way we give feedback should have the element of negotiation, balancing these two things.
Right. Wonderful. And this acronym is very, very useful. And really, that one thing which you have said, that is realistic. Our feedback has to be realistic. We cannot fly in the sky and give a feedback to anyone. Right. Thank you very much. Now I come to Mr. Navagana Naik, sir. Mr. Naik,
Sir,
I have something for you also. We
Yes,
want
sir.
that you give, till now you have been experiencing and listening to the different discussions made by Shajila madam and also Mr. Eugene sir, and both of them have given good description of different aspects of feedback. Now we come to another great aspect of this feedback, that is, we will now give some guidelines how to give a feedback.
all right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Because
Thank you,
people
sir, for
must be
asking
knowing
such a
this.
good
It's very
question.
important. They have to know how to give a
Sure.
feedback. Yes,
So let me start with the opinion of Mr. Eugene and Madam Sarja. So the main aim of feedback is to improve the performance of the person for whom we are giving the feedback.
correct.
So before giving the feedback, we should keep it in mind. What should be the nature and characteristics of the feedback, so as to improve the performance of the person. So as Madam Sarja has said, the feedback could be positive, it could be negative also.
Right.
If the feedback is negative, how it should be presented or how it should be given so that it will have the positive impact on the person who is receiving the feedback. That means that negative feedback can be represented in a positive manner.
Positive manner. Right.
As the trainers, before giving the feedback, we should keep certain points in mind, and keeping in mind how to improve the performance of the person. What should be the characteristics of a good feedback? The very first thing is the feedback should be as positive as possible. Even if there is negativity in it, first of all, we will focus on the positive aspect of the feedback so as to motivate the person who is receiving the feedback. That means the positive part is to be presented first. Then we will be coming to the negative part, and that is to be presented again in a positive form. So it should not be an advice. The first thing is, whenever we are giving any feedback, it should not be some advice or demotivate the person who is receiving the feedback. Rather, it should be suggestive. We should give suggestion. So means
Right.
suggestion in a positive form, so that the person will accept it with the positive spirit. And we should not sometimes we give the feedback focusing on the personality of the person. But the feedback should not be focused on personality, rather, it should be based on the behavior of the person. In that particular point, how the person has behaved. how the person has interacted for a particular situation. That means it should be purely factual. Means we should not have any sorts of
Mr.
anything in
Nag,
our.
Mr.
Yes,
Nag,
sir.
this point which you have raised, this is really very pertinent, because I understand that whenever we try to give a feedback, instead of being factual, we start what do you call, attacking the person to
Yeah,
whom we
sir.
are giving the feedback.
Huh.
So that is the reason why people are afraid of taking feedback.
Yeah.
So as you
Actually,
said, it
sometimes
should be
what happens,
factual.
sir.
And it is really a fact that the
Yeah.
feedback has to be factual. It should not be oriented towards the taker.
And sometimes, sir, we the givers of feedback, we feel that this should be there, that should be there. Means we simply ignore the situation. Means
Right.
actually should be the feedback in that particular point, and how much it should be. We expect much more, and that should not be there. We should give the feedback purely based on the context. On that context, what could be the right feedback so as to motivate the person, rather than inviting frustration from the person. Sometimes our feedback becomes such that it creates some sort of frustration on the person to whom we are giving the feedback. And that means our very purpose is not fulfilled. The
Yes,
purpose for which
is
we
defeated.
are giving the feedback means our aim is to motivate the person to improve the performance, whereas we are demotivating and reducing the performance. So this should be the criteria before giving the feedback. Means we should be very, very careful. And that to the quantum of feedback should be purely appropriate to the given situation. It should not be more, it should not be less. And one more important thing that I would like to point out, that it should be given as soon as possible.
This is very
That
important.
means it's very much time bound. That
Right.
means something now after a particular class or after a person has conducted a given class, and we are asked to give the feedback, and we are giving the feedback after a day or after 2 days. So that's a very purpose it is defeated.
By the
That
time
means
50% of things will forget. Look,
the person will forget
forget
everything, and the
50%.
person who has listened the things, he will also forget everything, and he will not he cannot give the right feedback in that particular point of time if the feedback is given after a long span of time. So that's why what I feel, that it should be given as soon as possible. That is the time factor matters a lot. The giver of feedback can accurately report what he or she observed or happened. So suppose I'm giving the feedback, I should accurately report the feedback. It should not be exaggerated, and it should not be again full of negative. So, and we should mainly concentrate on change on the person. The feedback should be such that it should bring some sort of change in the sense positive change in the person for whom we are giving the feedback, rather
Okay.
than making it
Yes.
some sort of judgmental type. It should not
Right.
be judgmental at all.
Right. Right.
That means prejudice should not be involved in it.
No prejudice. It should not be judgmental.
It should be
Has
very,
to be
very
realistic,
specific.
time bound.
What I feel, suppose the person has conducted a particular class, and I give the feedback that your class is not at all good. It is not at all appealing. So that's
May
actually
I ask
not a
one
good
thing?
feedback. It should be as specific as possible. I should point out the particular point where the person has performed well, or the particular point where the performance needs some sort of improvement.
Right.
So that should be there. Means it should be as specific as possible, but it should not be general.
I think
And
Mr. Eugene wanted to say something in this regard.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most welcome, sir.
Please. Yeah.
but in practice, immediately after training, we get feedback. We ask for feedback. Is it the right time to get feedback from our participant immediately after workshop?
Yes, sir. Actually, after the workshop, giving the feedback, everything will be fresh in our mind. What we have actually judged, what we have observed from the performance of the person. After maybe a day or two, some of the things might be erased from our mind, and we may not be as accurate as possible in giving the feedback. So that's why I told you that it should be well timed. That means it should be given as soon as possible. So that will have a better impact. And one more thing, from the receiver's point of view, usually we people expect that suppose I have conducted a class, what is my performance? What is the opinion of the observers? that curiosity is there in our mind. So naturally, if we get the information immediately, that enhances our performance. So means
Yes,
do it better. So that's why from the giver's point of view and from the receiver's point of view, the time plays a vital role. So it should be given as soon as possible.
like
And one more
justice,
thing,
like justice
the
delayed is justice denied.
it's
So if
just
feedback is
just
delayed, then
denied,
there is
right?
no use of giving a feedback, I suppose.
Sir.
And Mr. Nayak has rightly said
So,
certain important points regarding giving the feedback. It should be time bound. This is very important. And the objective of giving a feedback that should be kept in mind of the feedback giver. Why I'm giving a feedback? What am I intended to do? What is my intention? And intention has to be positive. Negative feedback is still positive since it is going to improve the performance of the trainer or trainee or the learner. So when we consider all these things in a positive way, then I'm sure everything goes well. There is no objection. There is nothing to be sorry about it. Sorry for both the giver and the taker, I suppose, because ultimate objective is improvement. Now, Mr. Naik, do you have anything more to say on this?
all right, sir. Actually, I wanted to add one, two things, some two, three things more.
All right, please.
When we are giving the feedback, we should say, keep in mind the situation as well as the ability and the topic in mind. Sometimes we feedback givers become over ambitious, and that should not be there. We should not expect much more in a particular context. Clearly, it should be contextual. We should focus this feedback on the amount of information the trainee can use rather than the amount we feel capable of giving. So that means depending upon the situation, depending upon the context, how much can be expected from the person who is in the front. So that should be stressed. We should give him stress on that rather than being over ambitious. So
Right.
again, as I told you, we should keep it in mind that our feedback should be as accurate as possible, again depending upon the context. So while giving the feedback, we should be very, very careful, sir. Otherwise, it may have some negative impact.
Right.
And
So,
sometimes, while
so
giving feedback, we become very much evaluative, and that should not be there. So
starts
that
assessing.
feedback should not be evaluative.
Right.
And sometimes we focus on the personality of the person. Sometimes the candidate does not have control over some of the factors. Like suppose I say, your voice is not good. Random immediately. The person cannot change his voice if God's gift. So whatever voice God has given, he cannot change. But we expect that the person will change his voice. So it may not be possible. So this type of feedback, what I feel, should not be given. Means the factors over which the person does not have any control. So we should not expect that that should be changed overnight. So all right, thank you, sir, for
So
giving
what
the
I understand is while giving a feedback,
about
the language used has to be chosen very carefully. Otherwise,
yes, sir.
it may be destructive also. It
Yes,
may
sir.
cause a lot of destruction to the taker. So
Yes.
usually you have raised your hand. I think you want to say something on this.
Yeah, that question was asked. Still, I have one more question. Can we
Sure.
call a feedback or brand a feedback as negative or positive?
Sir, actually, there is no such negative and positive. It depends upon the situation, depends upon the person. So we say sometimes we say the glass is half full and half empty. It depends upon our attitude, the way we receive the things.
Right.
Clearly, it depends upon the receiver, the way he is receiving the feedback. Whenever we are giving the feedback, and if it is suggestive, sometimes the person takes it in some other way. That what the person who is giving the feedback, does he know more than me? Sometimes that type of ego comes to play, and sometimes some of the people are there. They take it the things in a very positive way, in the sense that yes, the person what he has said, there must be some basic background in it, and I should think of it. I should try to improve. So that's why I should say that there is no positive or negative feedback in true sense. It depends purely on the person who is receiving the feedback, the way we are receiving the thing. same thing can be received in a positive manner, same thing can be received in a negative manner also. That means a particular feedback can be positive for one person, it may be negative for another person. So we cannot draw a boundary line between a positive and a negative feedback. Yes, I do agree that there are some feedback, there are some types of feedback which are clearly negative in nature. That means this means it involves some sort of criticism, and that we should totally avoid.
So this
Yes,
also
sir.
depends upon the attitude of the feedback giver. So if the feedback
Sir.
giver has a positive attitude, the language and the approach will be different. And this is what
Sir.
we actually require. Because
Is it, sir?
ultimate goal is to
Am I able
improve
to
the
convince you, sir?
yes.
Yes.
I think so. Mr. Eugene, are you convinced with the answer?
Yes.
Okay,
Rightly said.
Thank
you.
Thank you. So by this time, we have been discussing a great deal on feedback. And I hope our learners, our viewers, by this time they have understood that the most important part of giving a feedback or taking a feedback is the attitude. So until unless you build a proper attitude, then neither you can give correct feedback, neither we can receive a feedback. Now I come to Shajila, madam. Would you like
Yes,
to give
sir.
some? Now, Mr. Nayak has described about the giver. Now,
Okay.
you tell us about the receiver,
Taker.
the person who will be receiving a feedback, and this is the most critical part because the taker is a victim.
About
How can
receiving
you-
the feedback.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Give. Okay. Taker. That means receiver.
Yes, the receiver, because
Yes,
that is
sir.
more important. How I'm going to take, because
Yes,
I'm
yes.
receiving, I'm going to receive a feedback from you.
Yes,
Right.
sir. Okay. Sir, I will start with the point what Nayak sir has told, Mr. Nayak. Be positive,
Yeah.
positive feedback, giving positive feedback, and also negative feedback that is for the improvement. That also to be made positive, or that should be told in a positive
Positive
manner.
manner.
Positive manner it should be told, and such type of words should be used. So let us start this also, the receiver, how a receiver should be. A receiver also should have a positive mentality. That is, be positive towards the feedback giver. Recognizing the benefit and signaling this appreciation that will encourage the person who is giving it, encourage the person who is giving the feedback. That is signaling the appreciation. How can we signal the appreciation? Like different postures or different body language will show that definitely when you listen to a thing, when you listen to a feedback. So, for example, your eye contact and leaning towards the feedback giver, nodding your head, or other non-verbal signals, and all this, know that appreciating the feedback that should be felt by the giver. So that type of signaling should be there.
That means,
The
Sanjana
part
madam,
of yes,
Sanjana
in the
madam, what
yes,
you are just saying is, I think I had told earlier also that there should be
yes,
a mutual understanding between the feedback giver and the feedback
yes,
receiver.
yes,
Then
definitely.
only
Then
correct
that
feedback can be given.
yes, sir. If
Right.
that mutual understanding is there, definitely this positive mentality towards the feedback giver will automatically come. Okay. So next point, when we listen to the feedback, that is most important. We have already discussed here. We try to speak more, not to listen. So here, listen to the feedback uh, correctly, and because human beings are having a temptation to deny or argue or justify what they have done or what they have done or what they spoke. I have spoke or I have done because of so and so. So that justification always comes to the picture. So be the listener, I mean the receiver
Receiver.
should see that the receiver should see that he's listening each and every aspect or point of the feedback.
Means listen,
Now,
don't react.
don't
Right?
listen, don't react. Correctly
Listen
said, sir.
and don't react.
Correctly said, sir. Listen, don't react. So the next point we can say clarify and check understanding. Sometimes when the feedback giver may explain, give a statement or give a feedback like that. So it is not necessary that the learner will understand that. Learner understands it. So if he is not understanding, make it very clear and check the feedback with other people also. If that one trainer is given, and you can ask for the opinion about to other trainees also. So check the feedback with others. This also can help the improvement, help to improve. Next point is ask for feedback which is not volunteered. Sometimes the learner, he will he may want specifically about some aspect. He may want to tell or want to receive some feedback uh, with respect to some particular points. For example, we can say when we conduct a seminar, so content will be very good, all the points must have covered, everything must have taken care, but the presentation is not up to the mark. So but if the feedback giver very casually, it was done very well and all the points are covered. So in this way, if the feedback giver is saying, then exactly this person have some idea that the presentation was not that up to the mark, not up to the mark. So he needs to improve that part. So if there is no specification about the presentation, the learner can ask for it, not only for presentation, as the case may be. So he can ask for it if any point is not volunteered by the feedback giver. And another one, decide how to use feedback. If it is up to you, who has to, like, up to the learner to decide whether the feedback should be accepted or not. So decide whether the feedback is uh, given properly, or if it is not given, ask for more details. Another one, explore options. Once a feedback is given, then the next step is that it should be from the learner part. Learner should improve that if it is for the improvement. So you can always explore, or the learner can always explore the options, that what can be done to improve that. Suggestion, the feedback is given, but next part, just hearing the feedback is not enough. So it should be improved. The performance should be improved. So you can explore the options from the feedback giver, that how to improve, what are the interventions to be taken. And at last, gratitude is more important. So don't forget to thank your feedback giver. I
Okay.
think
Whatever be the feedback, whether I like it or not, I must thank them. Right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Mr. Eugene, I have a question for you. That is actually not a question, however. Would you now like to give a summary, or you can give an what do you call checklist, if what just now Sajila has said regarding if a person wants to receive feedback, then what should the receiver think? Means, so accordingly, can you just prepare a checklist and give it to us?
Yeah. The first quality the receiver should exhibit is showing some positive attitude.
Very nice.
When-
This is the first
when
thing
you-
which one should have.
Yeah. When you receive a feedback, maybe you call it now, you call the negative one, some shortcoming when you express also.
Right, right,
With a smile, you should invite, show some acceptance first.
right.
Second one, we must listen. We must pay attention and listen. Let them talk.
Yes.
We should not jump to the conclusion that I understood what you are going to say or what you have said. Listen completely. That is very, very important. And sometimes the person who is giving feedback, his perspective is correct. He understood it in the right way, but he finds some difficulty in expressing it, the way he communicates. It is not his intention, but his failure to communicate. In that case, if we understand it, we can paraphrase in our own simple sentence and ask, you mean to say my voice was not modulated? You may have used that your voice is not good. Okay. You paraphrase in a simple word, and ask, get it clarified. That's a good way of receiving feedback instead of coming to a conclusion that this person is giving me a wrong. Next one, we can check this as Sajila Madam has already told. We can check it with others also. Not necessary that the feedback is correct with one person. You may, as a human being, you may have doubt whether he is telling it right, not acceptable. You can get it from others also. Nothing wrong. Next, ask for detail not volunteered. This also Sajala Madam explained nicely. It's a very important thing. Feedback, we perform with some intention, but the observer may look at it in a different perspective.
Right.
Finally, we are not receiving the exact feedback we want. Or I feel that I need some certain areas, I need comment so that I can improve upon. In that way, you can request.
Right.
What about my performance in this area? My summing up of the class or the activities in the class.
Right.
They may fail to say that. Sometimes it may not come into their mind that I have to make a point on this particular aspect. But when you remind them, they may be able to give the required feedback and decide how to use feedback received. This is actually two contradictory points where you said we should not react. Of course, in the right sense, one should not react, but one should respond. 2-3 times you are telling me your voice is, you are not audible, voice is not sufficient, and still I don't try to raise my voice, then you will stop giving feedback.
Responding, yes, you are always free to respond, but you don't need to justify the reason what I have given you. I have marked you something and you try to justify it is because of this and that this thing has happened and all. No, listen.
Yeah.
And then you justify and you try to rectify. Justify and rectify.
I should put into action. When you give me feedback, I should put into action.
Because when I have given a feedback, this is for your improvement. You have to first believe this. Right. So, Mr. Eugene, you have correctly and very nicely summed up.
And the last point, Madam,
one more remains.
said that thank. If I received well, I must thank you.
Right. That is very, very necessary that you thank the person who has given you feedback, has taken so much of pain listening to you, observing you, and also analyzing your activities and then giving a feedback. So you must thank the person. And Mr. Nayak, coming back to you, you have been discussing this giving feedback. Now this question again, I'm coming to you. To sum up with the checklist, what should we keep in mind while giving a correct feedback?
Thank you, sir. So, as I told you from the very beginning, and this is also the opinion of two of my friends, Mr. Eugene and Madam Saja, that the feedback should be, the main aim of feedback is to improve the performance of the person for whom we are giving the feedback.
Right.
So that's why the very necessary thing is, it should be acceptable to the receiver. Unless the receiver accepts the feedback, so there is no question of improvement. So our feedback should be such that it should be well received by the receiver. So it should be acceptable by the receiver. Second thing, what I would like to say that we should focus on behavior rather than on the person. That means the personality of the person. It should be purely behavior based. The feedback
that means you want to say there should be no biasness.
Behavior.
There should
in
be
that
no
particular
biasness.
context.
There should be no biasness. That is okay.
No personal bias should be involved in it.
I like this guy who's now speaking, and so I
There
should
not be the
give him
involvement
good
of any
points.
personal bias.
Right.
So, and it should include observations, not inferences.
Oh, this is very
what
important.
we have observed in that particular context again. On the basis of that, we should give the feedback. We should concentrate on change rather than making value judgments. So again, this is one of the important aspects of feedback, that we intend to bring some positive change in the person. And it is most acceptable when describing specific rather than general pattern of behavior. Again, I have told you from the very beginning, sir,
General remarks.
specific
Starting with
as
general
possible.
remarks.
It should not be general.
Mhm.
And we should focus feedback on the value of the receiver and the feedback to which the receiver can cope with. Sometimes we being over ambitious, expect many more things from the person in the front. But we should see the capacity, see the context, see the situation, and accordingly we should give the feedback.
Right.
Timing of the feedback, again I have told you, sir, it should be well timed. It should be given as soon as possible. And finally, the vital and important point is we should check the accuracy of the feedback.
Right.
Whatever feedback we are giving, how accurate it is to the existing context. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Naik, for your description and also giving the various areas which has to be kept in mind before giving a feedback. So by this time, we have now understood what a feedback is and how much responsibility one has to take while giving feedback. Equally responsibility of the feedback receiver. So now I hope any listener, any viewer who might be listening to our program or viewing our program will now understand what the actual objective of a feedback is, how a feedback is given, and how a feedback is received, and what attitude and the skills are required. Knowledge, of course, is required, and also the attitude and the skills is required for both giving and receiving the feedback. And now we have understood the difference between giving a feedback and giving remarks, criticizing, and many other terms which we use in our daily life. Feedback is something different. It needs some training. For others, we require no training. We can criticize, we can give remarks without any training. But to give a proper feedback, we do require some training. And I hope after this program, our viewers will understand and will bring some changes in themselves. With this, I'd like to conclude our program today. And before I conclude, I must thank all the three panelists today. Mr. Eugene from Mumbai, Mrs. Sajila from Gwalior, and Mr. Naik from Bhubaneswar. Thank you very much for being with me
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
in this
sir.
program
sir. Thank
and giving your required and I must say highly informative discussions. Thank you very much and hope you'll be again
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
together.
I thank
some
you
other-
also, sir.
Thank you,
I
sir.
thank you also for this.
Thank you very
I
much.
thank all my friends.
Thank you.